Who we talking to?
Ourselves! Welcome back to Mc&Marren podcast. Today we are delving into our second episode of Fandom Forensics, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, or Harry Potter and Why is There a Giant Snake at the School? Okay. Colin, do you want to take it away?
Okay, first thing to talk about. Myrtle's been haunting the castle for 50 years. Why did no one ask her how she died, just to make sure that these killings don't happen again?
No one ever comes in here.
Well,
because Moaning Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle.
Who's Moaning Myrtle? I'm Moaning. Have you ever tried to talk to a girl who is uncontrollably sobbing?
Especially a 12-year-old girl.
You're not going to get a word in edgewise.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe this is different from the book and the movie, but in the movie, they're saying like a great beast killed her, right? And that was under the impression that that was a creature that Hagrid had snuck in.
Aragog.
Yes. Wrongfully accused, but still just as creepy.
And as far as they know, the creature either ran away or had been dealt with. So it's just like, why would they bother to ask her if they already knew?
But Dumbledore himself says that he suspected. But he had no proof. He suspected that it was wrong.
And that's the thing. He had no proof.
But
Dumbledore...
he had a ghost.
And Dumbledore was not in charge. Well, then you get into the question, and this was not defined very well in the books or the movies, was... do the ghosts take time to realize and come to terms with what has happened to them, what they are now? I mean, I don't think they just die and then the next day they're like, I'm going to haunt the bell tower for all eternity. La la la. I don't think they're doing that. So those first 50 years could have literally just been her getting used to the concept of I am dead and I live in the bathroom.
Counterpoint. Professor Binns.
How old is Professor Binns?
Professor Binns is dead.
Yes, but how old?
We don't know.
Would Professor Binns be if he was not dead?
But we are told Professor Binns died, woke up the next morning, and just went on to teach like nothing had happened.
That is different. That is dedication to your job and or possible Stockholm syndrome to your job.
But that tells us that the ghost formed at least within a few hours.
For those of you who might not know, Professor Binns is a book-only character who, as you might have gathered from what we just said, is a ghost. He literally drops dead and still shows up to work the next day.
It's actually in his classroom where they find out about the story of the Chamber of Secrets in the book. This was changed to I think it's McGonagall's class, isn't it?
Yes, because Maggie Smith is just that awesome.
But that also raises another question. So it's just like, Professor Binns was obviously very old when he died.
We assume.
So when people are older, do their ghosts automatically just go back to what they were doing? Or when they die young, are they like, what's happening? Where am I? What's going on?
And this is a major problem with the book because J.K. Rowling did not spend a lot of time developing this storyline. Probably because I feel the ghosts are mostly used as a means to an end point or a plot furtheration, if you will.
A plot device.
Yeah.
For the record, we do find out that ghosts do celebrate, or at the very least, remark upon their anniversary of their death.
Some of them do.
Like Nearly Headless Nick, because it's his
death. But remember, we can't talk about things that are from any other book except for book 1 or 2. So we can't.
I'm only bringing a book.
I know, but we can't talk about how some of the other ghosts interact because there's a lot more ghost interactions later in other stories.
Yes.
So, but ultimately, why did no one talk to Moaning Myrtle? Going back to the question at hand. I think it was a combination of Dumbledore had no power at that time. I mean, he was a professor, but he wasn't in charge. And then they had, quote unquote, caught the bad guy, end quote. And Moaning Myrtle is distraught on a good day. I don't think those first couple of decades right after she died, she's going to be in a good mood. I mean,
would you be in a good mood if you found out you died and now all you get is to live in a bathroom?
Yeah.
At your school.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the line, later in the movie when somebody throws the book at her and Ron's like, it can't hurt you, like that whole moment. It's like, you didn't see who did it? I was distraught! She is the epitome of an overly dramatic, like, teenage girl. That is just, no, you don't let her cry it out in the bathroom. Leave her alone.
I think we're going to move on to the next question, but real quick, just picture that someone goes to tell her the good news that they caught the bad guy, and all his punishment was he got his wand snipped. And he's living on the campus.
And this is probably also why that bathroom is out of commission most days of the week. But then that raises the question of when they find the truth out. Does anyone tell Myrtle when they discover the truth?
You want to pop on down to...
Is anybody volunteering to tell her the truth of what happened?
I think basically out of the main trio, the only one that was probably willing to tell her is Hermione.
And even then, Hermione's like, I really don't want to interact with you.
Yeah.
All right, but let's move on.
Okay.
Next question.
Lucius Malfoy, father of Draco, leaves the diary in Ginny's basket, yada yada yada. Chamber of Secrets opens. Did he know that it would cause the Chamber of Secrets to open? And if he did, why would he risk his own son's life going to the school and setting a monster free?
Okay, I'm going to let Justin start because he had his hand up first.
I don't think that Lucius actually knew that it would open up the Chamber of Secrets. I think that obviously, we know at the end of the book in the movie that it is Tom Riddle, aka Lord Voldemort's diary.
Spoiler alert!
Sorry.
If the book and the movie have been out for so long,
if you haven't at least seen the movie, go watch it.
Why are you listening to this?
So we find out that it's Tom Riddle's diary and it encapsulates his soul, right?
A fraction of it.
A fraction of his soul, yes.
But we can't talk about that because that's in a different thing.
Memory.
But it's a memory. It's a memory. During his school age years here, right? Mm-hmm. So, but like, does Lucius actually know where the Chamber of Secrets is? So then he obviously had a feeling that since the book is Tom Riddle's diary and it has his memory, he would let whoever, maybe his son or whoever was involved, in this case Ginny, to where the Chamber of Secrets is.
Okay.
To be fair, he knows it's in the school somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a massive school, but it's gotta be somewhere.
So here's I'm gonna go with, he absolutely knew what it was gonna do, and he absolutely did not care about his son. Because I feel like Lucius, a lot of the interactions we see with Lucius and Draco, he is not winning Father of the Year ever. He is not. I'm still talking. He is never going to win Father of the Year. But I think did he know what was in the chamber? No. Did he know that, potentially a bunch of people are going to get petrified? No, because although Lucius is much, much older than his son, he's not over 50. But all Lucius knows is the last time the chamber was opened, a Muggle-born died. Mm-hmm. That's what he knows. And remember, at this point, he is trying to think of a nicer way to say it, he is a pureblood fanatic. He does not care about the people this is going to affect. All he wants is to get rid of the Muggleborns so that the House of Salazar Slytherin and Voldemort's vision, because after all he is Wizard Hitler, can rise from the ashes. So I do not think he cared that he could potentially put his son in danger. But also, there's kind of the lore that the monster wouldn't attack a pure-blood kid, and Draco's pure-blood.
Also, maybe Lucius saw this as a trial for Draco, basically, because like if he could defend himself against the monster, then he's worthy to be in the Malfoy name.
I think that's giving Draco way too much credit.
It's giving Lucius too much credit.
That's giving him all too much credit.
Two things. One, it's a monster. Unless it's being reined in, it's gonna go around killing and eating kids. Okay.
Seriously misunderstood creatures, basilisks. R.I.P. Robbie Coltrane.
Number 2, and this is to go against your thinking that Lucius didn't know what was going to happen. To quote Dobby, there is a plot to make terrible things happen at Hogwarts. So either he knew what it would do, or he had some other wild plan that did not pan out.
By the way, Jason Isaacs, the guy who plays Lucius Malfoy in the movies.
Such a nice guy.
He is such a nice man. We met him at a GalaxyCon last year.
In Oklahoma City.
And he was super, super nice. If you ever had the chance, go out and see him. Actually, no, I'm sorry, not last year. It was actually this year.
Yeah.
If you ever had the chance, go out and see him. He loves to interact with his fans. He will not let you down.
He is very much not a villain, but he loves discussing his villain characters.
Very much like Tim Curry, he plays a villain so well.
Which isn't that always the way that like the people who play the worst characters are actually the sweetest actors?
Yeah.
Hate the character, love the actress.
Yes.
Or actor.
Correct.
But yes. But yeah, seriously misunderstood creatures, basilisks, said no one ever.
You're just saying that again because you hate snakes.
I do not like snakes. I do not like them.
Said the Slytherin.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
Oh, sweet irony.
There is no part of the Pottermore quiz that requires you to hold said house animal, okay? I would love to see you hold the snake, because Colin, you're not a fan of snakes either.
No, I'm not.
And Justin,
Go
find you a badger.
I would love to hold a badger. An English badger, yes. not a honey badger. Those things are dangerous.
All right, moving on to the next question. Well, we've just gone off the road.
Okay, next question. What kind of luck do you have for all of these to be petrifications and not outright killings?
Plot convenience.
Amazing luck is what you have to have.
It's like a few of them you can hand wave away. Colin glued to his camera all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can fully believe he would wander in, see a monster through the camera, and petrification.
Yeah.
Hermione was prepared. She had the mirror in case it found her, and it did. But Justin, not you, Justin Flinchfoot, whatever his name.
Which, wasn't he also in Hufflepuff?
Yes, he was.
What is it with Justins and Hufflepuffs?
Alright, so Justin, whatever his name was.
Finchley.
Thank you. He's wandering the halls like you do, and he happens to see it through a ghost. If Nearly Headless Nick had been anywhere else, Justin would be dead. Even if it was like a few inches to the side, he'd be dead.
Well, didn't he also have really bad luck because in the so-called wizard duel, Harry was pointing the snake right at him?
Harry was telling the snake not to attack him. The problem is, nobody in the room except for Harry speaks snake.
Well,
And everyone else would look like he's egging it on.
Well, obviously the snake wasn't listening because he was staring directly at Justin, ready to attack him.
Which, side note, can we discuss the fact that Parseltongue is obviously something that is known in the wizarding world?
Mm-hmm.
We learn about it in this book. Okay, it is a language.
Yes.
A magical language.
Without delving too deep into other books or other movies or other things that we know in the future, why isn't there like a magical foreign languages class?
Why isn't there a spell to understand it?
Or that's easier.
I can fully believe that there's a spell out there that instantly translates whatever language you're hearing, like French, Spanish, to English in your head, and so you can reply.
Well, especially since we kind of get the feeling from what Harry is told that only really dark witches and wizards speak Parseltongue, which I think is profiling. That's major profiling. But I digress. So wouldn't it, be helpful to like the auras and the magical police if they could learn these languages? Am I grasping at straws here? A
little bit, because modern day cops don't have to learn like ASL or any other language of the people that they enforce the law in the communities that they work in.
They don't, but it would be useful.
But the military has full-on language programs. Once again, it's the level of bad you're dealing with.
And the Aurors is the closest thing we have to a standing army.
But like, you were saying that, like, no, there should be like a class. Yes, there should be a class
bordering on outside information with that.
I'm just wondering, like, I feel like that's a really good question, and if I would like to know if that was ever considered, are there language, like, we know that Dumbledore, I can't talk about that because we don't know that until later. Never mind.
My point being is that maybe, much like certain aspects of our own history, the wizarding world is trying to either get rid of or forget that part of their community, because like you said, Parseltongue is only spoken about from dark witches and dark wizards. So it's just like, after the Wizarding War is over, wouldn't you just be like, well, just put that over there and no one talk about it ever again?
But that's also like, that whole scene, can't talk about it because knowing things I know now, it raises more questions, which I will ask at a later time. Remind me of this when we get to episode 5.
If I knew then what I know now.
That was not even
Beetlejuice plug-in.
Yeah.
But yes, also go see Beetlejuice the musical if you have not had a chance.
And if you do see Beetlejuice the musical, try and look up the video with Alex Brightman as Beetlejuice. He is great. All
right. Next question.
So, victims are petrified. We gotta wait till spring so that the main drink.
Pause real quick. Did we even answer the last question?
We just went. It's sheer dumb luck.
Yeah, it's sheer dumb luck.
Or plot convenience.
To quote Maggie Smith, sheer dumb luck.
Yeah.
Or in other words, it happens.
Lazy writing.
Yes.
Anyway, so the victims petrified. Gotta wait till spring when the mandrakes are mature so we can use them to create the restorative draught. Okay? Right?
Yes.
Sure.
Here's the thing. I can't believe for a second that there are only wizards in the UK.
There aren't.
There's got to be wizards all over the world. So why don't we just pop down to Africa and say, hey, and you got some mandrakes that are in season? Because it's fall when the first attacks start happening, so it's spring in the southern hemisphere.
We don't know where the mandrakes were originally found, though. They could be only found in England, for all we know.
It kind of, that raises more question about the landscape needed to grow magical plants. Now, granted, these mandrakes are planted in the greenhouse, which I think, once again, it was a literary tool, because before the attacks started happening, we had our first herbology lesson with Madame Pomfrey. Madame Sprout. My goodness, that was the wrong name. Sprout. I apologize. We have our first lesson with her, And the lesson is mandrakes. So it's like, okay, yeah, we have to wait a little while, but it's not like the students going anywhere.
Not like they're learning anything.
Well, did they learn anything last year?
I mean, for the most part, yes. I mean,
I love the pause that was there. Did they learn anything last year?
Yeah.
Crickets.
For the most part, their education wasn't upended that much last year.
Yeah. I think that ultimately it boiled down to, once again, writer's choice and everything. But I do like the idea that we don't know where mandrakes originate from and how they grow. And maybe mandrakes don't travel well.
Yeah, I mean, because, we have the flower festivals here, and they only use flowers that are durable, don't need a lot of care, and yet they're very, very colorful.
Yeah. And then, I'm assuming to make the mandrake draught, you have to slice and dice a little bit.
Probably.
So do you transport them live, or do you transport them sliced and diced? And do they lose their potency for how long they travel? Is it like produce?
Also, I'm sure if you were to transport them in pieces, those pieces, as soon as you cut them up, the plant starts dying.
Yeah, that's
they
my point.
are plants.
Yes.
Meaning they grow from seeds. You could No, because if they're seeds, they're not mature.
Yeah, they're not mature.
Plus, we don't really know
but
how
also,
long it'll take them from grow from seed to...
Roughly a couple months.
We don't really have to worry that much about transportation time because we introduced flu in this book. We have instantaneous transport between any two locations as long as you have a fireplace. And as long as you do it correctly, nothing should catch on fire.
Will the flu network burn up the plant? Because it is flame.
You could put it in a container.
Yeah, because it doesn't burn their clothes. Also, though...
Sounds like we're veering towards a discussion on magical Tupperware.
But also, like you said, though, as long as it's said correctly, because, in Harry's first trying with flute powder, he says... Diagonally.
What did he say? Diagonally. Of course he did.
So, someone from another country, let's say mandrakes are also grown in Germany. Let's just say they're from Germany for whatever reason.
Okay.
And some German herbologist is using the flu network to try and get Hogwarts. He might say Hogwarts in German. He may not go where he needs to go because the flu network may not recognize, basically, it sounds different in German than it does in English.
Fair point.
Also, J.K. Rowling, I know you did Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. You need to do a version of magical plants, because that is not...
And how to grow them.
And that is not thoroughly explained.
There is your title. Magical plants and how to grow them.
And the cover just needs to be the Whomping Willow.
Yes.
We do not need this to be a prequel to anything. This could be its own standalone thing.
Just a book.
Anywho.
I think we're going to move on.
We seem to be going on different tangents in this episode, don't we?
The subtitle of this episode is called Tangents. We'll get where we're supposed to be eventually.
Eventually.
I mean, that kind of sums up our entire podcast, isn't it?
Maybe we should have called the podcast Tangents. Sounds like a math podcast. No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Anyway, how did Dobby manage to make the first trip to Harry without alerting the Malfoys?
Tori has a theory about this one.
It is not my theory. It is a theory that other people have, and the people who know this theory will know why this theory is very close to my heart. So here's the thing, and don't shake your head at me. So here's the thing. Dobby serves the Malfoys. That means he serves any member of the Malfoy. Could be Lucius. Most likely it's Lucius. Most of the time he's obeying Lucius. Could be Narcissa. Could be Draco. Now, there's a fan theory that Draco does not want Harry Potter, the golden boy who lived, blah, 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 to ruin another school year. Because let's all face it, from Draco's standpoint, he has a tendency to ruin the school year.
I mean, they were winning the House Cup until Dumbledore decided to pull out some unknown points out of his butt.
Yeah, all these points that came from nowhere. So it would do Draco much better if Harry was not there. Because if Harry wasn't there, Draco can be the star Quidditch player he wants to be. If Harry's not there, Draco doesn't have to worry about him countering his dad's evil plan, which I am sure Draco has been made privy to. Okay? So my theory is that Draco tells Dobby he can't go to school this year. Figure it out. And gives him a lot of leash there. And so Dobby's like, okay, now why he doesn't, that's open to interpretation. I'm also over here saying that Hermione would not have torn a page out of the book. Draco did. We see him do it in the movie.
That is a movie-only scene.
But it's so powerful.
You just want the Hermione ship to sail, and it's not.
It was right there! And that...
It's not gonna
Don't
happen.
even get me started on the fan fictions that should have happened that never... Was I the only one... I'm going to go ahead and say this one, even though it's not in this book that it was first referenced, but like when they found out that J.K. Rowling had originally planned for Hermione to be with Fred, and they were like, that makes so much more sense than Ron.
Wait, she was supposed to end up with Fred?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember this either.
She was supposed to end up with Fred, but she couldn't make the storyline work, so she ends up with Ron. And yeah, Ron's nice and all,
Also,
but we're just gonna leave that there because if you think the Hermione fan fiction is bad, the twins is even worse.
The twin fanfiction as in Fred and Hermione, or Fred and
Any
George?
fan fiction involving the twins is worse.
maybe we should cut. You know what beats a ship?
What?
Cannon.
But tis.
So I think we kind of...
Going back on track to the actual question.
Yeah, going back on track to the actual question. I don't think that... well... Also, I just thought about this. In the movie, you know, when... Spoiler alert, Lucius comes in with Dobby to Dumbledore's office. Dumbledore does not seem surprised to see Dobby.
No?
Maybe it was Dumbledore who sent Dobby to Harry's address because, for all we know, the Malfoys didn't have his address. But Dumbledore did.
But Dobby doesn't serve Dumbledore. Yet.
No, but he may have, you know, Dumbledore just may have asked for his help.
That's very out of character for a house elf.
Also, it's stretching the rules as far as we know them.
Yeah.
Which, at this point in the story, we don't know a lot about the rules.
You know, we could always chop this up to maybe Narcissa Malfoy thought the whole thing was a bad idea.
You want to unleash an unknowable creature to start killing off students
while our son is at school.
Are you mad?
This reminds me of a Batman quote. Even if I had a week, I couldn't explain all the reasons why that won't work.
I have neither the patience nor the crayons to explain this to you. But
So I think we can kind of also chalk this up to plot convenience.
yeah, probably plot. I feel like a lot of the answers for this one are plot convenience, but I still like the fan fiction theories.
You're the only one at this table.
I
who
know
does.
I'm the only one.
So, all right. So, unless anyone else has any other answers, I think we can just move on to the next one.
That one was it.
That one was the last
That
one.
was all the questions that we had put together.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
All right.
does
Well,
anybody have anything about book number 2 that they are just dying to talk about right now?
we were talking about the flu powder earlier. I would just also love to point out that I'm a supporter of the theory that Santa Claus is a wizard and he uses the flu network to get around in the Muggle world.
I support that theory.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap this episode up, I think we should take a moment. Everyone say their favorite quote from this book or this movie, whichever one they prefer. I already have mine picked out. And because I don't want either of you to take it from me, I'm going to say it first. I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending I don't exist.
I think I'm probably going to steal Colin's, but follow the spiders? Why don't you follow the butterflies?
I'm going to go with, if you die down there, I'll be happy to share my toilet with you. Just because it's such a weird and out of pocket
thing. It's so creepy.
It's so.
I mean,
it's nice, but it's also.
Oh, this just opens us back up to Moaning Myrtle. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how unhinged she is. Okay, when they use the polyjuice potion, and Hermione has her little accident. And the guys come to talk to her, and they're like, come on out so we can see. You hear Moaning Myrtle. Wait till you see it. It's awful. She's so happy that somebody else is miserable in the bathroom.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, Hermione is transformed into a humanoid cat.
Yeah, but it's just, she's so unhinged. And happily so, this is not the last time we see her. So we do get to talk, we'll talk about her more later, I am sure, because she's so unhinged.
Yeah.
She's so creepy.
It's that weird thing of once a character is a ghost, it doesn't matter what they were like in life because they become a whole lot more morbid. But they don't realize how morbid they are.
Side note, we all know the HBO version is going to be coming out soon. We all have our varying opinions on if we want to watch it or not.
They've started filming.
Initial images are coming out. I would just like to start the trend right now. Hashtag justice for Peeves. Peeves the Poltergeist was introduced to us in the first book. We never got to see him in any of the movies. We got to see him in the video games, the original video games.
That was the weirdest part because the video games are based off the movies because the colors and the mascot for Ravenclaw is a raven in the video games, whereas it's an eagle in the books. But then it has book
character that did not make it to the movie. So hashtag justice for Peeves.
I'd also like to point out that, this book kind of introduces a lot more confusing things in the magical world because, for one thing, for as poor and, money strapped as the Weasleys are, they have a car that's essentially alive.
The Ford Angela.
Correction. Had.
They had a car that's alive. And then also...
I have my own car. I'm going to live in the woods.
I'm going to live in the woods and no one's going to see me again.
But we also... There was a lot of stuff about the magical world that was introduced in this one. I mean, we got introduced to house elves. We got introduced to the concept of a flying car.
We got a concept of giant spiders.
Giant snakes. Plants that could kill you if you listen to them scream. And I think everyone's... the Whomping Willow that could also kill you. But I think everyone's favorite
that could kill you in this book.
Everyone's favorite scene, whether they will admit it or not. The Howler.
Mm-hmm.
If you, as whenever you were a kid, adult, whatever, watching the scene, reading the scene, just interacting with the scene, if you did not get like a visceral reaction that you were like, my parents would send me a howler and I'd be dead.
Yep.
Did you even really enjoy the scene?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it is just so... Well, I mean, because we all have that fear of our parent yelling at us in front of our classmates and our friends and just being like, oh no, we're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. And Ron just...
He looks like he's ready to die, or either die or turn into a puddle.
But then in like a split second, it's just like, and Ginny dear, congratulations. And so Ginny's like, great.
Also, there's nothing you can do because the letter shows up. Everyone at your table knows, it's everyone who's grown up in the Wizarding World knows, that's a howler. And so everyone's like, open it. But even if you don't open it, guess
worse.
what? Your mother or father, whoever sent that to you, they're going to find out you didn't open it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be so much worse because now they're showing up to the school.
Yep. Also, we are introduced to one of the... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. No, that was the first book. I'm sorry. I thought we were introduced to Norbert in this book.
Norbert's in the first book.
Also, but yeah. So, I'm sorry.
Real quick question here. But why does the school have a dungeon?
It's a castle.
It's a castle.
But a dungeon is specifically to hold prisoners.
It was a castle first and a school second.
Yeah, it was a converted castle.
But at the same time, though, how many things in the wizarding world do you think are just aesthetic? They don't need glasses.
They don't need quills.
They don't need robes.
Why are Slytherins sent to the dungeons? Why can't they have a tower?
No. Because they get a really nice view of the lake and wonderful mood lighting. And stairs going up. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Hufflepuffs are downstairs too, except they're by the kitchen.
Yay. By the way, I'm the only Hufflepuff in this group.
Yeah, we've got 2 Slytherins and a Hufflepuff.
Hi.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm just going to say the Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws throughout this series are just going to turn to Harry and basically be like, what did you do now?
I mean, I feel like that's what everyone did.
I was minding my own business.
I was over on the bench!
But you saw what Harry was doing and you did nothing.
I was over on the bench!
You saw Harry talking to Malfoy and you did nothing.
Also, one thing they introduced into this, I think, that we didn't see in the first book, summoning animals. Summoning living things.
Yes.
Because we see Draco summon the snake in the middle of the duel. Which, not exactly sure what your plan was here, genius. You can't make the snake do anything.
The plan was the snake was going to go after Potter. The plan was quite clear.
Yeah.
And the snake got distracted.
Oh, we also got to see pixies.
Yeah, we got introduced to a lot more magical creatures in this one, didn't we?
Well, yeah, this one had a lot of magical creatures.
And also the most flamboyantly teacher in Hogwarts, Gilderoy Lockhart.
Can you call him a teacher? He didn't actually teach us anything.
He was hired as a teacher.
Okay.
That is true, though.
That's open for interpretation.
He didn't teach the students anything, except that he doesn't know what the hell.
Great hair.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
The art of accessorizing?
Also,
how to sign your autographs.
How to answer your fan mail.
Yeah, I think that's all solid choices.
But I will say, though, seeing him get his comeuppance was just like, yes.
Oh, yeah, we were also...
We were all
also, that alone... We'll dive more into that in book 4. Because I have a question for that specifically. But we're introduced to Obliviate.
Yeah.
The spell. Mm-hmm. Which, that is a terrifying spell.
A lot of these spells are terrifying when you get down to the nitty gritty of it.
Some of them are just fine. Like Lumos, okay? Lamp. Got it.
I love
Safe, nice, got it. Obliviate. You just erased 5 years of their memories.
Avada Kedavra. You're dead. I mean, there's a lot of spells that there's ones they don't teach them, obviously, for because of the purposeful reasons behind them. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, there's a lot of morality questioning with some of these. Aloha Mora. Why are we teaching first years a lock-picking spell?
By the way, we won't be teaching them the spell to lock stuff until book 3, I think.
Yep. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this also the book where they learn to transform living things into inanimate objects?
Yes. Now therein lies a question. Therein lies a question. Did Ron's spell not work because the wand was broken, Oh, nope, can't do that. All right, so we're going to ask that question when we have Fandom Forensics episode 3.
Yep.
Which will be here in a few weeks. We, at this time, actually don't know what our next episode's going to be. It's a surprise.
Surprise even to us.
Actually, wait a minute. No, not yet. Sorry, we have plans for an upcoming Halloween episode. So I thought we were getting ready for our Halloween episode, but no, not yet.
No, Halloween is still a little bit ways away.
As if you can't tell, it's my favorite holiday. Because I was like, oh wait, the Halloween episode. No, not yet.
Yep.
Mine too. Also, one thing that one detail from the book that we never discuss in any book after. Halloween is the death day of Nearly Headless Nick.
Yes.
And this will never be brought up again.
No, it will not.
Ever again.
Nope.
You know why?
Because,
it wasn't important to the story.
Because it was used specifically so that Harry would be separated from the Great Hall so that he could stumble upon the first attack.
Quite convenient.
Also, it's something I also just thought of. So, we find out that the basilisk has been living in the chamber for 50 years.
At least 50 years.
At least 50 years.
Well, 50... Ever since Slytherin put it down there. Whenever that was.
And it was traveling
They're capable of living hundreds of years.
Yes. But, and he gets around via the pipes, right?
How big are those pipes?
That was one of my questions. Like, how big are those pipes? Because that snake is huge. And secondly, I wonder what the growth rate is of a basilisk, because
it starts off like a couple inches when it first hatches, and then a couple feet a month later, and then.
But also, it's a reptile. Reptiles, for the most part, need sunlight. If it lived in the basement for its entire life, it's probably in really bad health.
It didn't live in the basement. It lived in a cave in a secret location under the castle that is only accessible through a girl's bathroom.
With a bunch of water everywhere.
In other words, a basement.
There might be a skylight somewhere in that cave. We don't know.
My point being is that, that basilisk either...
Hey, has anyone checked to see what this window was for?
That basilisk must have some really, really good genes, because I don't think if any other reptile would be taken care of this way, it would not have survived that long.
But you're assuming that a basilisk abides by the same rules as a muggle basilisk. Because, yes, those are a thing.
Have they ever explained that in the books?
No.
So then there you go.
I'm just saying, there's obviously a difference between a magical basilisk and an actual real-life basilisk. Well, a basilisk is a little tiny lizard.
Oh.
Yeah,
you have them at the zoo!
You have to specify when you say basilisk, because, it's like, yes.
It's a little tiny green lizard.
Well,
the one in Harry Potter is a giant green snake.
You kind of have to start somewhere, because it's just you can't really base it off of something and then just completely derail the rest of it.
I'm just saying. Also, let's be honest. The basilisk in Harry Potter would have been so much more terrifying if it had legs.
Also, and this is another thing, from this we find out about basilisks existing and what they are and how they're born, yada yada yada. They are born when a chicken egg is hatched underneath a toad. That's it. That's the only. That is a very easy window of it. Also, why is no one making a bigger deal that Neville keeps misplacing Trevor?
Trevor unleashed the basilisk.
It's his fault. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Hashtag justice for Trevor.
It would be just Neville's luck that
his toad didn't
accidentally create a basilisk.
It would be just his luck.
Also,
okay.
the fact that, I think maybe we talked about this in the first Fandom Forensics episode, but the animal companions you are allowed to have at Hogwarts are an owl, a cat, or a toad. Right? Mm-hmm. Why a toad?
Eye of newt, toe of frog, will of bat, tongue of dog.
Toads are commonly seen as
magical elements.
Now, well, it makes sense.
Cats are for the aesthetic. Owls are for the male. Toads is because I don't always want to go to the shops at 3 a.m.
Now, here's one thing I could see. I could see it be like they do interpretations based off of the house things. So, like, maybe we're not going to let the Slytherins have snakes, but we'll let them have lizards. Okay? The Ravenclaws, we'll just say owl because you need that for the male anyway. Gryffindors, cat. Easiest thing there. And
not just because it's McGonagall.
Badgers, rats.
But rats were not on the list.
Rats were not on the list.
Yes. But going back to Colin's original point, though, they should have just made a basilisk a species of magical snake that is very rare.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have exhausted this topic for today. Thank you for joining us for our second episode of Fandom Forensics. We would also like to give a special shout out to everybody who came to our panel at Arkansas Comic-Con.
We really appreciate you guys coming out.
It was really fun, and we hope that you guys had as much fun as we did. And we hope that we'll see you back there next year.
Yep. We did put up the audio from our panel at Arkansas Comic-Con, so please check that out as well.
Yep. All right. Well, bye.
Bye.